Good morning, everybody. This is Michelle with Creative Operation and Country Craft Creations, and I have another design team project for you. I'm using the leftovers that I had, which weren't very many, to make some inserts that are going to go into my album. So as I did the tutorial a couple days ago, I posted, there's a lot of room to put lots of vacation photos in here, and you can see there is still quite a bit of room, even with all the tags and things that I added to it during the original tutorial. So what we're going to do is make some inserts for this, and I'm going to show you how to make them. They're really fun and super easy. So this is my Coco Paradise album that I made. This is by Photoplay, and this is a design team project for Country Craft Creations. I will have links down below so you can go see the tutorial on how I made this album, because that's already been done. So now let's talk about the inserts that I made. So I didn't have a whole lot left over from my design team package. So there were a couple things that I did do that I was able to make with the few little bits that I had left over, and literally I have bits left over. I'm pretty much wiped everything out. So a couple of the things, I did have a couple cut apart pieces that I did use, and I made some simple journal spots. So basically these are, let me grab my ruler here real quick because I'm pretty sure, oh, I did cut them down. So they're the Irish cream cardstock that I did have left over. I cut it at 3 by 4, and then I cut a piece of pattern paper that was 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I loved the little turtle piece, so that was perfect. And I made a journal card, so you could put a photo on the back, or you can do journaling on the back, because this Irish cream, even though it is sparkly on the outside, you have a nice flat matte surface on the back, so you could do some journaling on the back of that. I did use some of the summer ivory paper, which is the colored cardstock that I used the Artisan for the base of my album. I had some of that left over from my bits and pieces, so I made this simple flip card. So this was pretty simple. It is 3.5 wide. It is 9 inches tall, and I just scored it at 4.5. And then I layered some cardstock pieces left over. So this is the teal color, is called Aqua Tint. It's by My Colors. It's 3.25 by 4.25, and then I used a 3 by 4 cut apart on the front of that. So made a nice little card. This is the sticker that was left over from the collection. So I thought, well, you go on vacation, you send cards, you know, postcards, whatever. So this would be kind of a cute little addition into the album as well. So I made that. This one is a little bit larger card, so I did it in kind of the regular card size, I guess you could say. So the cardstock here, again, the Irish cream, so you have that nice sparkle, is 11 by 4.25, and then I scored it at 5.5 to make a top-loading card. And then I just layered some cardstock on here, and at this point I started, like, when I made this was kind of one of the last things I made. I started kind of running out of pattern paper, so I had to do some layering to kind of get the you know, fill that out. So I just used a piece of Aqua Tint that was 4 by 5.25, and then I used a piece of the Coral Rose that was 3 3/4 by 5, and then the Summer Ivory was the next layer, 3.25 by 4.25, and then a 3 by 4 cut apart that was left over. And I thought that made a really pretty card. On the inside, I put Get Your Glow On. That was one of the stickers, and then a cluster of the stickers that were left over down at the bottom. So you have room for a photo, room for writing, and then you also have the back. You can put a pretty photo on that. Again, these I'm planning on putting in the book. Then, you guys know me and my Polaroids. I love my Polaroids. So this is one of the first things I actually did, because I had bigger pieces of cardstock here. I used the Irish cream, and what I did was the usual Polaroid sizes that I do measure 3.5 across, 4.25 down, and then the photo piece in the middle is 3 by 3. That's what the internet says that the kind of standard Polaroid picture is. So I ended up upsizing it, and I think I did it by 1.5 times. Was it 1.5 times? I think it was 1.5 times. I think I did I throw that paper away? Yeah, 1.5 times. Okay, so if you upsize it 1.5 times, you end up with a piece of cardstock for the base, for the actual kind of like photo frame. at 5 1/4 by, this says 6 3/8. All right. So when I did that, then the pattern paper, so the actual kind of like photo piece, is 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. So again, 6 3/8 tall and 5 1/4 wide. Will upsize like the Polaroid to like 1.5 times the size. Then I had this piece from the cut aparts that I layered on a piece of the kiwi, and I did it so you could tuck the picture behind. On the back, I put another piece of the pattern paper and then a cluster of the stickers. So I did make 2 of those. They are the same size. So again, one of the cut aparts backed on some cardstock, and then on the back a cluster of stickers there. Okay, so I made those. Then I decided to make a library pocket, and the library pocket is, let's see, I cut it out of a piece of pattern paper. Let me get this right here for you. 5 1/2 plus 3, so it was 8 1/2 tall, and then 4 1/2 wide. And then what I did was, with that 8 1/2 tall, 4 1/2 wide, did a 1/2 inch score, and then I did score it at 5 1/2, and so that gave me a 3-inch pocket, and I just folded that up, folded the tabs to the back, and then I used scraps of paper. So on this one here on the back, I just put a scrap here and a scrap here, and it created a pocket. I fussy cut out of the cover sheet that I got some images to add to this, because I was I ran out of stickers, and so I wanted that flower there to give that pop of pink. So I did fussy cut that out of the cover sheet and put that there. And then I had a little strip of the pattern paper left over. I made a little tag booklet. This just measures, let me see here, 8 1/2 by 2 3/4. And so I scored it at 4 1/2 to fold it and make a booklet. Use my tag punch to cut that out. And then I fussy cut that little heart out just to kind of put that up there. Little piece of the aqua tint for a photo mat. On the back, I fussy cut that out of the cover page. It says get your glow on. Just put that there so you have a picture space here. And then I had a little bit of a border strip sticker left over, which was a perfect size to put right there. So it kind of looks like water to me. So I like that. And then on the inside, I just put that sticker here that says a little note. So you could do journaling and you could do a picture there. So that just tucks into the back side where I made just a plain paper pocket. And then this is the front of the library pocket. So again, a strip of paper, fussy cut the hello ticket and the turtle out of the cover paper. Did the hello piece on a back, or a piece of the coral rose cardstock, and then this is fussy cut out of the cover paper as well, because I'm running out of paper. And then I had 2 more journal cards, and I kind of saved these because I knew I wanted to do like a library pocket thing. So I just put those in the top pocket so you can, have those in there. Then last but not least, and this is where I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I made this. This is pretty fun. And I also was able to use another one of my magnets, and I'm telling you, these magnets are amazing. These are the new tonic magnets that Country Craft Creations has. Absolutely amazing. And so I used another one to make the closure for this. Now, what this is an origami envelope that has been around forever. And people use this as kind of like a gift card money envelope thing. And when I saw this, generally you make it out of very thin paper and you don't decorate it and do all the things. You do decorate as far as putting a couple little tags in, but otherwise no. When I saw it, I immediately thought photo album. So I'm going to show you how I made this, and I'll show you this in a second. But basically what it looks like once it's folded up, it looks like this. And the idea is that this side tucks in, this opens up. You can put stuff in this envelope part like money or whatever. Close that, and then this kind of keeps everything sealed up. And then you can tuck like a little you know, something, something here, whatever you want to decorate it, the front of the envelope, and then that's how you present it. And that's pretty much what I've seen people do. But I kind of took it to the next level. So what I did was this little flap on the front, instead of tucking it in like the normal origami envelopes that I've seen, I actually made it a flap, and then that's where I used a magnet closure to keep everything together. So it creates this little pocket on the front when you do that. So you, of course, have to put stuff in it. So I made like a little mini photo Polaroid frame. Now this is the size of an Instax Mini, and it measures 2 1/8 inch wide and 3 3/8 inch tall. And then this inner piece here is 2 7, let's see, no, 1 13/16 wide, and then 2 7/16 tall. So if you want to, you know, alter this so you don't have to deal with 16ths, you could take it down and do that, which would make it, let me double check on that for you. Let's see, 2 4 6 8 12. So you could take it down to 1 3/4 inch wide by like maybe 2 1/2 inches tall. And then that, you just have a little bit of a different border, but that would be, you know, what you could do. So I decided to make one of those to stick in that front pocket. And then I made, I had a little strip, so I made a little ticket. And again, I used my stub punch, but you can use a circle punch, and I do demonstrate that and show that in the tutorial for the album. So it says, it has a sticker on it, it says Sunshine State of Mind, and then on the back I put just a little piece of the coral rose on the back. So that goes in the front pocket, and then here is where the magnet closure is, and I just put it underneath the pattern paper. And then it opens up here. I used some stickers here that says Hello Sweet Escape. And then inside this pocket then, I had a couple cut aparts left over. So I used those as a booklet. So that's what it looked like on the sheet. I just cut 2 of them out and folded it. And then I used the sticker Relax on the inside. All right. Then on the inside of the envelope, I did end up cutting that flap off of here. And just leaving that off because a couple reasons. One, I wanted to put pattern paper on it, but I didn't have enough paper left over by the time I got to this. So, but then I thought, well, if I take that off, then it shows more of what's on the inside. So I ended up cutting that flap off. And then on the inside, we have the pocket. Another cut apart that I just edge punched with my scallop edge, and then I have this cut apart that was left over that I trimmed down a little bit to fit, and then those go on the inside right here. I decorated with stickers up here and backed it with a little bit of kiwi, so then that just tucks in, and then this tucks in, and then these will go into this pocket, okay? So magnet closure keeps everything nice and tight, but wait, there's more. So with the envelope here, I haven't seen people use the rest of it. Like there's this whole back thing and there's an inside piece. So I decided to do that. So you open it up, and I used some of the coral rose to put on the back here. And then I had this one big cut apart here that I did cut. And I did make it so you could tuck pictures behind. So I just glued it on the inside and then on the bottom, and you can still tuck a picture behind. So you have photo mat opportunity. You could still put stuff back there and close it up. And then on the back, what I ended up doing was I added just a little simple glued pocket, backed a little piece of the pattern paper that I had left over with some of the coral, or not coral, the aqua tint cardstock. And then I did another ticket, and then I did another one of the little mini Instax. Okay. And this one here, I just did the back the same, and then put a cluster of stickers there. And then, you know, it creates this other pocket back here. So you have to put something in there. And that is this tag. And I just basically used what I had. So this kiwi paper is 3 1/2 by 4. I trimmed down this to fit. I added some ribbon, and then I made another one of the whole reinforcements there. And then the back has that sticker that says "To travel is to live." So this is kind of like a loaded origami pocket. And I'm going to show you how to make that right now. But that's what I did with my leftovers, and I'm pretty much done. As far as covering these pieces, I had to do some real creative things with it. So let me grab a piece of paper. I see if I can show you kind of what I did. I don't even know if I have a piece big enough to show you. But basically what I ended up doing was taking my papers and just kind of layering them over the pieces and then like trimming, you know, tracing and cutting them out. So that's how I did that. It was real piecemeal as far as what I had left over, but I was able to do it for this piece and this piece. And again, I just kind of layered, you know, a piece of paper that actually fit over the top and then drew some pencil marks and then just kind of cut it out. So unfortunately, I don't have that on video, but it gives you an idea. And then you definitely, you don't need to decorate all of it if you don't want to, because, you know, even with a plain pocket, all of the pattern papers would look really pretty, you know, like so. So let me show you how I did this with another piece of paper. So this one here I did in whipped cream. That is the new Vellum cardstock from Country Craft Creations. I did use it for this pocket as well, the library pocket. This one here is Summer Ivory, which is the same as the base. And then I'm going to use Pink Lemonade for the demonstration. This Pink Lemonade is, again, a new Country Craft Creations paper. It's called Vellum cardstock, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So it's real fun to do. Now, because this is a thicker paper, I am going to use my scoreboard. A lot of the tutorials I've seen, they're using really thin paper because it's just meant to be an envelope, and they're just folding it by hand. But I want to use my scoreboard because I really want to make sure that I'm, you know, getting this just right and I'm getting good scores and it's folding properly. Okay. So the first step, it's 8.5 by 11. You're going to take your paper. I put it in my scoreboard and I'm going to mark at 4 1/4. I'm just going to put a little pencil mark there at 4 1/4. I'm going to turn it on its side and I'm going to put another pencil mark at 4 1/4. Okay. So because we're going to make that diagonal there. And then I'm going to turn it, and I need another pencil mark at 4 1/4. So when you count back 4 1/4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. You'll make a pencil mark at 6 3/4. Okay, so 6 3/4 this way, 4 1/4 this way. So you end up with pencil mark here, here, and here, and they're all at 4 1/4. Okay. So then I'm taking my bone folder. This is my new tonic bone folder that I got from Country Craft Creations, and I love it. So I'm going to match up those pencil marks. Okay, and I'm just going to make my score. Okay, and I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to end up with like an airplane kind of score, like if you were making a paper airplane. All right, like so. All right, then when you do that, let me get this real quick. We're going to fold and burnish. And you want to make sure you fold and burnish really, really well. And then we're going to turn this around. And I'm going to make sure everything matches up as nicely as you possibly can. All right, just like so. And then the next thing we're going to do, that's the first step. Second step is we're going to put it back in our scoreboard. I'm trying to get my mat out of the way here. We're going to put it back so that it is at a diagonal like this. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to burnish at the 6-inch mark. Okay. So that should match up. When we fold this up, it should match up to that corner that we just created when we folded. Okay, so we've got our paper. It is at a diagonal right here. Okay, and we're going to score down 6. All right, and then what I ended up doing was I turned it back over and matched up that, and I scored it again because I actually want the score line on this side. Oops, don't move your paper. Okay. So I'm just going to rescore that so it's on both sides because we're going to fold this piece in this way. And I'm going to match this edge to these edges. And that should match just perfect. And then we're going to score, or burnish our score line, okay? And make sure everything lays nice and flat and it doesn't overlap, like so. All right? The last step that we're going to do is we're going to put it back into our scoreboard, and this time, so we're going to put it like this. So this is the new big flap that we just made. We're going to have that at the top. All right? So long side at the top, long flap at the top. The two first flaps we made are here. We're going to put this down and we're going to score at 3 3/4. All right. And it does get a little tricky, so go slow. Okay. And then you can turn it over. You can open it up too if you want, if it's easier, since there are many layers, but the problem is your paper gets too long. So I just went ahead and kept it folded. And then we're going to score again at 3 3/4 and just go slow and get into that groove, okay? All right. One more time back here, because the score is actually going to go towards the back. But I want to make sure I get a nice good score through all those layers, okay? So now that we have that, so you should have the top big triangle and you'll have a score down the middle, and then you have your two smaller triangles here, okay? So then this will fold to the back like so. And then take the time to really reburnish. Let me get my mat here. Reburnish it because the paper is thicker. Now again, if you use thin paper like copy paper or something like that, you probably don't even have to do the scoring. You can just fold it, because once you start the top fold, it makes it pretty easy. Okay, so then you do that, and then so when you fold that over, so we had it like this, when you fold that over, now we turn it, this becomes the pocket piece. Okay, this becomes kind of the front. So this is what you'll have right now. All right, then we're going to need to score and fold right there, last step, and then we're done. So I put it back in my scoreboard. Again, you're going through some layers, and I'm going to nudge this up. It doesn't quite match the score lines because of the thickness of the paper, so I'm going to nudge it up just a little bit to match it into the score. So I've got my edge of my paper right at the edge, the top edge of that score, okay? So I'm going to just score kind of beside it, and that does give a little bit of extra, you know, space to fold, okay? And then I'm going to turn it over and put it back in my scoreboard, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to score it again because it is going to fold to the other side. And I want to make sure that I get a nice score on this. And I tell you, this paper scores like a dream and folds like a dream. Okay, so we have our score there. Then we're just going to simply fold this over, and we're done. That is the envelope. Now, I did now reburnish everything, okay? This is where, if you were making a regular envelope, you could just tuck this into here, and it's closed and it's done. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to decorate and I wanted to use the magnet. I did cut this particular flap off in my example that I made. Let me take this out because I didn't have enough pattern paper to cover it, and I felt it was in the way. So you can cut it off or not. It's up to you. But if you do decide to leave it, then you can tuck like something in here and then cover it up, and then you can put something here. It's totally up to you, and that's part of the reason why I like this design, because you can kind of mix and match and make this your own. You have the inside space here for your photo mats. You could put pattern paper there if you want. You can decorate this, and then it just closes like that. And then on the back, you end up with this pocket here. Now, this isn't really a pocket unless you glue the bottom, because that is actually inside of the origami envelope. So the other thing that you can do if you want is you could fold it all, you know, the opposite direction if you want to, and have the outside be more plain. You would definitely have to use a magnet on that though, because you won't have anywhere to tuck that, and the flap will be on the opposite side. But there's lots of options for this. You could even do it, you know, landscape if you want to. Where you would do a magnet is, well, I won't use one right now because I don't have enough paper to cover it. But if I grab my pencil here, I just kind of looked at where my point was. And you can, if you want, make a little pencil mark just so you can see it. And then I put my magnet like right here, and then attached it to the page first, and then it ended up, you know, sticking to that side. And then I covered it with the pattern paper. So that's how I did that. This is the Origami wallet album, or Origami tag wallet. Let's call it a tag wallet because it is definitely a tag wallet. Once you get done with this, you have lots of room because, like I said, with the magnet on the outside so that you actually use this as a flap, this becomes a little pocket instead of tucked inside, you know, like so. I mean, you can tuck stuff in there, but it's a little bit bigger if you do it on the outside. So you can do the little things. You can open this up. You have a place for a larger piece of, you know, cut apart pattern paper, whatever. Then you have kind of a two-way pocket here because you have that slit that goes all the way and it closes up. You have photo opportunities in here, and I definitely could, if I want, you know, do a little something something here if I wanted to. And then the back, if you add a little pocket on the front here, because on the back there's this big space here, you can do whatever you want there. So I added a little pocket, more little goodies inside the pocket, and then another tag at the top, and you can have that be as big or little as you want. All right, so that's the Origami tag wallet, and this makes a really great addition to my book. So I am going to add these to my book, and I will quit yammering at you. I will quit talking, and I will add these to the book, and I'll let you see where I put them. And thank you so much for watching. This is my scrap. This was a real fun paper collection to get. It's Coco Paradise by Photoplay. I made this beautiful album, and then with the scraps, I'm making additions to put in it. And again, you can make these as additions, or you can make these as standalone things as well. Just some really great ideas to use up the scraps, since I didn't have a whole lot to make a huge project. But I mean, this ended up being pretty substantial, so I love it. And just one piece of 8.5 by 11 paper and your scraps, and then you can make a really pretty little project. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, and stay tuned, because right now I'm going to add these to my album so you can see. Have a great day. Bye-bye.